Well, it's another day, and another big announcement came today from the video game world, this time from Electronic Arts. And to be honest with you, if you had asked me, Matt, are you looking forward to anything Electronic Arts has to say this year regarding video games? I probably would have said no to that. Electronic Arts just have had a really difficult time over the years. However, last year they surprised us with a brand new Star Wars game called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It was done with their studio Respawn, and it was a fantastic action game that put together the Star Wars universe with a Metroidvania style type game. It was a big hit for Electronic Arts, and it was a big hit for Star Wars fans. And it put back a lot of the excitement of the franchise back into the Electronic Arts game world. People were starting to say, hey, guess what? Maybe they can make a good game. Well, guess what? They have announced a new Star Wars title. Last night they showed the official reveal trailer called Star Wars Squadrons. Now, why am I excited about this game? Is because finally, after all these years of waiting and hoping, we're getting a Star Wars flight sim game. Just like the classic games like X-Wing and TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, those old games, the Rogue Squadron, whatever, they are classic things of Star Wars that we've not gotten a lot of recently. Although we did get flight sim parts in the Battlefield games, which were actually a lot of fun. I loved those Battlefront game aspects where they had the in-flight one-on-one dogfighting or 50-on-50 dogfighting. That was fun. Sure, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 2 had their problems, particularly with loot boxes, but the gameplay was pretty good for the most part, except before they had to fix everything with the loot box situation. But now we're getting a new game, and this game is focused completely on the dogfighting aspect. It's going to take place apparently after the events of the Return of the Jedi, and it's going to be a multiplayer focused game, which makes some people disappointed. But however, they're going to include, a single player option as well. Apparently, a 6-hour single player campaign. We don't know how beefy it'll be. We don't know a lot of details. We do know that apparently we're going to visit some new places in the Star Wars universe, and hopefully we'll visit some places we know very well. But since this game takes place after Return of the Jedi, probably we're not going to be able to compete in those great, wonderful set pieces from the movies that we love. However, I'm okay with that if they bring us something unique and original and interesting, and it's something that I don't have a problem with. I love the fact that they can expand the universe a bit with that still kind of confusing era after Return of the Jedi for a fan like me, who I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, but I'm not reading all the books and the comics, so I don't know all the stuff that's happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So it's nice to kind of build in some extra story details in those games. Now, there's another reason why I'm super excited about this title, and it's something that I'm so happy to see Electronic Arts do, and it's something that I just was surprised by it. Last night, just before the reveal trailer came out, and before the information came out, rumors were that the game was going to support VR on the PC. Fantastic. If you have a VR set for the PC, you're set. You're perfect. However, I don't have a PC. I use a Mac, and unfortunately, I can't get a PC anytime soon, and I can't get a VR headset for that. But I do have a PSVR, and I'm a big supporter of PSVR. PlayStation VR has been one of my favorite things this past generation, and it's something that I'm looking forward to hearing more about in the future once the PlayStation 5 comes out and they decide to upgrade that system to the next generation as well. But to be honest with you, lately there hasn't been a lot of games that have been coming out for VR. There's been a lot of small stuff, but not many big things. Now, we do have the Iron Man game coming out in a few weeks, and the demo for that is fantastic. It really makes you feel like Iron Man, and I'm looking forward to playing that. But the big news last night was that not only is Star Wars Squadron going to support PC VR headsets, it's also going to support the PlayStation VR. And I think that's a wonderful thing. First of all, it puts more support into the PlayStation VR. It gives them another gigantic game that they can sell for the system, and something that can be brought into the next generation, PlayStation 5, and it will be a great thing. It will be a great selling point. Because, as we might remember, Battlefield 1 had a VR mode in it. It had a very short VR dogfighting, X-Wing dogfighting campaign. And that was one of the best things about Battlefield 1. It was like only like 20 minutes long, but it was so much fun. And it really made you feel like you were in the Star Wars universe. You were in an X-Wing. And I know a lot of people that have shown VR to, that was one of their most favorite parts of the experience. And for me, as a an old school Star Wars fan, and when I was a child, I wanted to fly an X-Wing if it was ever possible. I would love to get into a TIE fighter. Oh, the dreams I would have of that. Obviously, it's just movie magic. You can't do that. But now with VR, you can. And this is going to be, in my opinion, if they pull everything together and do exactly like they did with Jedi Fallen Order, this could be not only a huge game for the Star Wars franchise, it could be a huge game for VR. Now, we don't know a lot of details other than the details on the PR release, but we are apparently getting, in the next couple of days, I think on Thursday, we're getting a full gameplay reveal as part of the E3, well, non-E3 event week that EA has coming up. So, absolutely looking forward to that. It's one of my favorite bit of news of the day, and I really hope that EA, I think the company's Motive, I believe, I have to look that up later, so if I made a mistake, I apologize, but I hope they pull it off, because dogfighting in Star Wars is just in a perfect combination. And let me tell you, there have been so many great games that have done it well, and Star Wars is one of those. And I, as a video game fan, have always loved games where you can get into a spaceship and fly and just explore, or just get into a nice little battle. Games like, of course, the original X-Wing and TIE Fighter, and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter on the PC. Games like Crimson Skies, which is not a space shooter, I know, but Crimson Skies was a great dogfighting game in like a pre-World War II era adventure world. Excuse me. And what else? Oh, recently, No Man's Sky. Has gotten more dogfights in it, which is a lot of fun. It's also VR. Elite Dangerous is a great game as well for that. So there's a lot of games out there that I love with this aesthetic and this theme. But if you put Star Wars together with that, it's great. And you know what? Let me tell you, when you put VR with a license, it is even better. Because let me tell you what one of my favorite games of this generation has been. That was Star Trek Bridge Crew, which was that VR game where you could be the captain or the engineer or the pilot of a like starship, including the Enterprise. They actually had the original Enterprise in the TV series and the Enterprise from the Next Generation, and you could actually compete in missions with people around the world on your ship in an online experience unlike anything other. And I still love it to this day. It's one of my favorite games of VR this generation. And that was one thing that I thought they did really well with Star Trek, was bringing the license into VR, making you experience that world. And now Star Wars is going to get that experience again. So for me, absolutely, after the announcements of PlayStation 5, which were awesome, I didn't know what we expect to see from anyone else this week, but EA has already come out this week, hitting every note, and hitting a home run with just one little announcement. I'm looking forward to the gameplay reveal this week. And there's a lot of things this week we don't even know what's going to happen. We're probably going to see a lot more game reveals and a lot more interesting information. Hopefully Nintendo has something up their sleeve as well. And there's other news this week, which I hope to get to talk to a little later. If you like this video and you like my commentary, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Dislike, leave a comment. I want to get better, and the best way to get better is through good feedback from all of you. And share this video because, hey, I'm a guy in Japan, and I love talking about games, and we don't have enough of those here on YouTube. All the people I see are mostly from the West, so hopefully I can put my own spin on things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again in the next few days. Take care.